Hello and happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, yes. And on this Wednesday, I have a blog post for y'all for the Winnie.tech blog read along. I finally finished it, the my 2024 review post. So let's get started. So in this photo on the top here, we see myself on a folding bicycle after biking 100 miles over 36 hours. Yes, I did camp and sleep, so I wasn't too exhausted, but it was a bit of riding and it was a really fun time. I'll talk about this maybe in a different blog post or some other content if there's interest. But yeah, this little bike works pretty good. Um, I actually got a full size bike and it's all I really need. Um, Pretty good. So yep, bike and camped 100 miles, 160 kilometers from Milwaukee to Manitowoc in 36 hours. Okay, let's get to reading. It's been a tumultuous year. It took a multitude of drafts to complete this short piece. I felt demoralized when authoring this post. Then I reviewed my 2023 in review posts, and it put my frustration in perspective. Life is pain and joy. It's an undulation of anguish one day and blissful peace the next. Keep pushing through and learning. That's all I should expect from myself, and the rest is gravy. Um, in this post, I don't really talk about some of the tumultuous events of the year. They're kind of personal, but I do kind of talk about stuff I achieved and did. So let's get to that. Things I achieved this year. I have a picture of all the paper journals I wrote in for 2024. I have another like 30,000 words on my computer, and some other writings elsewhere. But this is what I wrote on paper, more or less, for that year. And it was about 70,000 words. A lot of little doodles in the small books. Those go with me when I go places. This has helped me a lot. So, yeah, what did I achieve? I sold my car and lived car free Milwaukee, bikes and buses. I became an avid cyclist, cruising around Milwaukee. I also went on a multi day bike tour along eastern Wisconsin. I, like I said before, I'll probably make bike content, so stay tuned. I developed my exercise regimen into an at-home calisthenics program using which is using the body for weights instead of like using dumbbells or, you know, a barbell or whatever. It's really easy to take with you. Your body goes with you wherever you go. So you can always pump out whatever exercise you're going to do with the body weights. So I was exerting reps of 60 sit-ups, 15 pull-ups. Pretty proud of those achievements, but alas, I cannot achieve those metrics today. So soon I'll restore my peak performance and hopefully exceed it. Life has gone away and I need this for myself. Definitely. Whenever I stop exercising, that's when I'm liable to get depressed or um like joint pains and muscle pains slowly creep back into my life. I tend to get sick more too. So fitness has all these benefits, and to forego it is to forego living one's life, honestly. Um, okay, so I began going to therapy and working on mental well being, real big time. Wrote 70,000 words in paper journal. I tutored dozens of students. Computer literacy, programmable logic controllers or PLCs, Haskell, Python, Java, Perl, computer science topics. I learned a lot about teaching, and my students seem to enjoy working with me. Little footnote: it's not always rose tinted glasses with tutoring. Sometimes the students are not really prepared to learn. And you kind of have to meet them halfway. And sometimes, despite your best efforts, they will fail. All you can really do is make sure you give them the tools so they fail with grace and learn from their mistakes that they have to make themselves. You can't make them for them. So, just a little tip for anyone else getting into tutoring and teaching: you can't take this stuff personally. Some students are just not going to receive the material very well. Some students have a lot of things going in their life that prevent them from being a good student. I was one of those students. So, just give them grace and give yourself grace. Okay. Next, I migrated most of my computers off Nix OS, and towards Debian stable testing. Life is too short to dink around with self-inflicted NixOS snafus, and the community invalidating all but the savant's opinion on user experience and developer experience, UX and DX for short. And I question, if NixOS, where will it be in 5 years? Will it look the same? An implication here is that, will I be able to use it the same way? Will I have to do a lot of migration over those 5 years, like I have had to do for virtually every year with NixOS? It's hard to say, but I do know what Debian will look like, and I have used Debian for many, many years in many different ways. So I trust it to carry me well and caress my computer time instead of like destroy it and crush it like NixOS does and suck all the fun out of it. Because honestly, I just want to do the thing. So, I could really rant about that, by the way. I'm trained as a computer scientist. I worked as a software engineer, a site reliability engineer, sysadmin. And truth be told, I just don't think it's a good trade off. But let's get back to the article. So I bought a van to try van living in. I sold or donated roughly 90% of my possessions. The less ownership, the better I felt. It turned out to me that freedom means owning less and owning what I need and enjoy, not what others think I need. And there's a lot of stuff in one's life that isn't really for one's own intrinsic values or needs, is just an extrinsic, keeping with the Joneses and all that jazz. Once you discard and dispense with all that, life becomes a lot easier, from a materialist perspective. The items no longer control you, you control your life, and you control the items around you. Okay, so I also moved to Milwaukee and visiting with family, and missed connections over the winter. Facing one's demons is ultimate therapy. Van travel begins sometime in 2025. I don't really think I need to go into this. Let's just say we all have different relations to the area we grew up in and the communities we grew up around. And personally, I have a lot of demons in that. So, if I face that, the healthier I am because those things can no longer control me. So, it's a very good choice for me to do this right now. I joined 2 book clubs, read a ton of books for the clubs and myself. Yeah, hecking books, man. Uh, my clarity of thought has improved immensely. My writing acumen has exploded. When they say stay away from the brain rot, it really does work. Um, the more you spend on this website, the better, honestly. It is not good for your health long term. To know something and to know something. YouTube is only to know it in a cursory sense of the word know, not to really know it intimately, like you might through reading a book, experiencing it firsthand, or just investing a lot of time researching, which you're not going to do on YouTube because it's all thrown at you as opposed to you pulling stuff out of the internet, pulling stuff out of the book, pulling stuff out of your action in the world. It's happening to you. It's like TV. So there's only so much benefit you can get from that kind of relationship to media. So yeah, here's the van. It's kind of a little rinky-dink thing. Got a good deal on it. It's a little beat up, and I love it because I can beat it up further, and it's not a big deal. I can try out all the things, and if it breaks, again, not a big deal because I'm not spending a crap ton of money on this thing. This is kind of how I approach new things. Spend a little bit of money, see what I like in it, and learn what I can from whatever I purchase. Use it up as an expendable, as a learning tool. Then, if I find I need more, get more. If I don't, then I don't need more. For example, this laptop I have is a $180 laptop. It's my daily driver. I don't have a faster computer right now. Works just fine. Works fantastically well, to be honest. And this is coming from someone who spent on average $1,000, $2,000 on a laptop in previous years. I've always been dissatisfied with those purchases. So it's better to just try lots of things, lots of equipment, lots of products, lots of experiences, than to just buy the fancy thing people say is good because it's going to be good only because it looks nice, not because it actually works well for people. And aesthetics are important, but not the cost of actually using the thing for what you need to use it for. So, what are my goals for 2025? I'm going to continue my fitness goals. Pain free is the name of the game, and a stronger core. Today I was I moved my pull-up bar so it's close to where I sleep in this dwelling, and that's helped me a lot recently. And also, uh, I've been practicing doing when practicing getting hooking my feet up in the pull-up bar. So like you pull yourself up, hook your feet up, and then hang by the feet. And my goal is to do like 30-second to 1 minute hangs from the feet because my ankles are kind of weak. So it's just like this seems like a really tough exercise, and this will really strengthen my legs in ways that other exercises don't. Because typically, when you go out in the world, you're pushing the ground away from you to offset gravity, right? You're not really pulling with your legs or with your ankles or with your feet hooked on something, hanging from your feet, you know. So I think this would be a good exercise to try. So, think outside the box. That's what I do. If it feels like it's hard to do as exercise, probably should do it more. That way it becomes less hard. When things are hard, you just push at it and you learn to break it down to easier steps and exercise accordingly. Okay. So also my other goals are I want to supplant my rational desire for a tech job, and I attribute this solely for income with a healthier way to learn money, to earn money rather, to learn and earn the money. How about that? Um, 9 to 5 tech work isn't for me. You definitely search for serenity in the work, eyes on the flow states, because tech doesn't have flow anymore. It's mostly meetings and jumping up and down whenever boss asks you to. Took me a long time to come to this conclusion. I applied to a myriad of jobs this last year. I got 0 offers. Took me a while to figure out why. It wasn't so much my resume is bad or anything like that. My attitude wasn't there. I really didn't want the jobs. I didn't want to lose my independence. I didn't want to be demeaned into doing work that is only for a paycheck. Because if I have to sit my butt all day, I'm gonna lose my physical physique. If I have to sit my butt all day, I'm gonna lose the capacity to read books like I do because I won't have the energy to do it. It's just it's a bad trade. I'd rather be poor and have my freedom, have my books, have my physical ability, than be rich and paying everyone to fix all these problems I've created for myself, such as muscular and skeletal weaknesses causing structural issues and long-term health problems, inability to find time to cook, and therefore I eat poorly and eat terribly, and I gain weight or whatever. And I just couldn't figure out a way to make it balance. So 9 to 5 just isn't for me. If someone wants to pay me to do tech work and do the honest work and leave it at that, I'll do it. But frankly, most tech jobs are just BS jobs now, so not for me. So I want to continue navel gazing, build up that creative muscle, express myself in more fun ways like art and writing. Definitely, definitely. This is the way for me. I'm a creative at heart, and for a long time I tried to disown that part of me, and this is a bad way to be. You gotta be true to yourself, and if that means foregoing what people think you should do and doing what you need to do, then it needs to be this way. I hope to continue reading lots, already am. Continue writing lots, already am, but I'm still working that up, finding more writing projects. Want to monetize the writing. Poetry is really fun. And recently I've been listening to poetry slams. It's been pretty fun. So I also want to try van living. And if it doesn't work out, consider moving out of country where car ownership isn't romanticized despite traffic violence manifesting as a fairly understood, tractable problem. Yet we would still won't solve it in this country. Among other reasons. But let's just say I'm very dissatisfied with our country and the way we do things here. It's really not about the people as much as about the economic outputs and about how we can leverage people against those outputs. So it just doesn't feel like a place for me if the values are focused not really on the people, but on the output, which, let's be honest, no one cares about this stuff. It isn't, you can't get your health back. You can't get your well-being back. You can't get a social circle back because it'll disappear because they're all too busy with their economic outputs. So why participate in that system? That's what I say. Anyways, here's the bicycles that I've been using in 2024. The one left, I dubbed it Phil. That is a bike I donated to Vulture Space in Milwaukee. And the reason was because I took this in my van for a camping trip and I broke the derailleur because I didn't store it securely in the cargo area of the van. And it occurred to me it's just an awkward bike to store inside a vehicle, pretty big. It was also hard to like say if the bike racks and the buses don't work, how do I get this in the bus? I have gotten that bike in the bus, but it was a full size bicycle. It's a little awkward on a second floor apartment too. Not that it's impossible. It's only 30 pounds. You ought to be able to carry 30 pounds up and down stairs several times. If you can't do that, I encourage you to start training to that because that's like a baseline, I think, for me personally. And it guides a lot of things I do. So, for example, like when I moved out of that place, I did everything myself. I was not too sore after. The only thing I was sore after was I did stairs like nonstop for 12 hours in one day, and I guess I just wasn't quite ready to do that with carrying heavy boxes. But that's not me. But anyways, I think it's super important to be able to carry these things up and down the stairs. That bike on the left is pretty good though. I got that for $13 back in 2013-ish. Friend and I uh, refurbished it in 2022, and it's been a great bike. Really great bike. Easy to work on, easy to fix. It was a 1981 Latour frame. And again, less than $100 spent on that bike. One the right, I bought for $350, I believe. Spent another $40 on crappy tires just so I had tires that worked. Um, spent me another I spent another $100 on the bike lock. But yeah, so basically a little bit less than $500 for all that. And that folding bike is the one I use all the time. I bike in the snow with that. Bike and rain with that. I've gone bike trips with that. It's quite sufficient. I've carried 40 pounds of gear on that bike, no problem. It can carry more gear too. I didn't need to carry more gear. And yeah, so bikes. And if I had gone to a dealer, like a bike shop, I would have been spending thousands of dollars for the same thing. Easily, easily. So bikes are the ultimate freedom because you don't have to pay anyone to do anything with it. You don't need a license. You don't need to you're not going to kill anybody with your bicycle. So there's not restrictions on how you can use it like a car. It's very unlikely you're going to harm anybody with a bicycle. Is my point. You kind of go your way to do that, and you'd be malicious because virtually any way that you're going to end up hurting someone with a bicycle is going to hurt you more. So like you're just not going to do it. Um, yeah. So bicycles, pretty cool. So I wrote little things down here. Thanks to all my friends. Thanks to all that listened to me hem and haw about stuff. Thanks to all that were willing enough to take a chance to be vulnerable with me. Thanks to my parents for letting me stay for a little while as I moved on from to van living. Thanks to my parents' dog for being such a sweetie. And there's the dog. Scout is a good doggo. She's named after Scout, the little girl from Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. The She got the name because her father Atticus Finch, I think, is the character's name. Um, saw that she was always like getting the mischief and stuff, so had the name Scout. So don't put up BS. Most Americans live for 2.44 gigaseconds. Make each second count. And that's it. I hope this was interesting, intriguing, maybe. I don't know. Um, but I'm having fun doing this, and this is closer to how I want to spend my time making content and writing and what have you. So let's leave it there, and you all have a great day. Until next time.